common sense question tonight. A basic question, a fundamental question. I'm not going to tax you with anything complicated. Why do you think India has evolved a judicial system based on intricate, elaborate, and a complex set of laws? Viewers, obviously to dispense justice in a fair, equitable, and justiciable manner. That's the simple answer. There's not a complicated question, and there not need be a complicated answer. India isn't a banana republic where if someone is caught stealing, they can be flogged to pulp on the spot by their apprehenders. Or if someone, viewers, transgresses someone's personal space, the person who is doing so and breaking the law isn't smashed to smithereens on the street. We don't have an eye for an eye kind of justice system. Yes, some countries that are still stuck in the Stone Age, viewers. Perhaps some Islamist caliphates have that system. In India, viewers, when an individual transgresses the law, he is usually handed over to the police. And the law then takes its own course. There is an investigation. First an FIR is filed, then there's an investigation, then a charge sheet is submitted, then charges are framed, then the court examines the charges. There are arguments, cross-arguments, this, that, the other. And then finally, adequate justice, that too in consonance with certain principles, is administered. Even Ajmal Kasab, viewers, who was caught alive after he had executed a hate strike in the name of his faith, was given a fair trial in India. Ajmal Kasab, viewers, who was one of 9 terrorists who entered this country and held it to hostage for 4 days. On several occasions, viewers, politicians have hurt Hindu sensitivities. Average people have hurt Hindu sensitivities. So-called academics have hurt Hindu sensitivities by making off-color remarks about deities, rituals, gods, laws, and even the faith itself. Now, viewers, they have provoked Hindus or even discriminated against Hindus, causing the community to protest, but rarely ever cross the line into anarchy. Yes, there have been a few unfortunate transgressions, viewers, when Hindus have taken the law into their own hands. But then they have come out and said they made a big mistake. The whole world has ganged up against them. Law has been dispensed to punish those transgressors. But unfortunately, this isn't the case all around, viewers, in our society. Time and again, some groups dispense street justice, turn vigilantes to protest what they believe are provocations. It is considered politically incorrect to name the group. So newspapers, media organizations, anchors like myself and the like couch descriptions in inanities. We call people miscreants, a particular group, a set of individuals. This veil of anonymity, this inability to shame because people fear a liberal backlash, has virtually meant that one lot of hotheads in this country operates with total impunity, viewers. They don't risk anything, not even ignominy. And they refuse to accept the supremacy of the law. They threaten to plunge India back into the dark ages. Now, here are some examples, viewers. In 2025, this year, yesterday, in Burhanpur, a Muslim mob takes to the street shouting inflammatory slogans after a youth's post derogates Islam. I'm not justifying the provocation, viewers. The police then steps in to prevent imminent threat of violence. Now, there is a law, viewers. There are a set of laws in this country that are very stringent, under which you can prosecute people for hurting another group's religious sentiments or stirring religious tension. Why couldn't these people who felt so aggrieved by that post, and rightly so, not have gone to the police, filed an FIR, had that person arrested? It was all public knowledge. The person was known. No, but viewers, they hit the streets. And in Burhanpur, and I showed you those pictures, viewers, there was a rampage. March 17, 2025, Nagpur, just a few days back, a Muslim bomb allegedly provoked by false rumors pelted stones at the police to protest Hindu groups' march against glorification of Aurangzeb. Now, viewers, if another group of people is peacefully demonstrating against an individual, even a historical figure, who has hurt them, who is a continuous source of grief to them, what is your problem? How can that be a provocation? You can only be provoked if you believe in Aurangzeb. If Aurangzeb is irrelevant, as we are constantly told, then why should anyone have a problem with somebody protesting against Aurangzeb? Viewers, no. That group said it's a provocation. And you saw what happened. Several policemen were injured. One was attacked with an axe. Women police officials were sexually... I don't even want to go there, viewers. On March 10th, 2025, another few days ago, last week, in Mahu, in Madhya Pradesh, a Muslim mob clashes with revelers after they lit fierce firecrackers near a mosque to celebrate India's champion trophy win. So, viewers, today, in cities which are so cramped, you happen to pass by a mosque, you are celebrating India's win. Is that a provocation? Should you be beaten? Should you be attacked? November 2024, last year in Sambhal, a Muslim mob goes on the rampage triggered by claims that the court directed surveyors of ASI were on the verge of taking over the local mosque. They even had a problem with the court order. Viewers, their weapons were pulled out. Again, people and police were attacked, etc., etc. And when action was taken, they said, no, we were provoked, we are the victims. Views like this, if everyone is a victim on the slightest provocation or even a imagined provocation, there will be chaos. April 2022, Hubli, a Muslim mob angered by offensive post gathers outside the police station demanding that the accused be handed over to them. Again, viewers, that youth had posted something objectionable. I'm not condoning that, viewers. No one should be hurting anyone's religious sentiments. But what do? You follow the law, you go to the police station, you say, okay, we are a whole bunch of us. We have a problem. Can you please take down the FIR? The police took down the FIR and let the investigation continue. But viewers, in Hubli, they said, no, you hand over that person to us. We will give that person just rewards. And they were shouting, as you know, those slogans that they shout, viewers. STJ slogans. The police naturally refused, but the mob then decided to pelt stones at the policemen, their vehicles and the station. Viewers, rewind a few years back in time, in 2020 in Delhi, a Muslim mob directed by local Muslim politicians, riots protesting CAA law that had not yet been notified by the centre. They came out onto the streets when a foreign dignitary was visiting the capital. At that time, it was President Trump. Now, these examples raise some questions. Do some consider themselves more equal than others in this country, viewers? Do some groups get away with more than others in India? Does one group think it has an automatic right to riot? I'm being very blunt tonight, viewers. Do forgive me. But sometimes you have to be. Plain speak is the best antidote. And let's open this up. Let's ask some piercing questions tonight. I think I've set up this conversation with some of our guests, and for once, let's just have people speaking with a degree of equanimity. Let's not pass personal judgments against each other. These are important questions on a very sensitive issue. So let's be sensitive, let's be responsible, let's not just say things to score brownie points with supporters, etc. And I want to begin with Talha Rashidi, spokesperson of the Rashtriya Ulama Council. Rashidi Saab, thank you for joining us this evening. I just hope that we can maintain calm and we can speak with some logic. What is the meaning of mobs of a certain community hitting the street every time there is a so-called provocation or even a real provocation? Don't you believe in the law? Should these people not be told that they have no business to be out in the streets, burning public property, attacking the police?
Thank you, Rahul, for inviting me to the show, and I congratulate you for this new innings on CNN News rating. A very good evening to the panel and to your audience.
Thank
the
you.
question is very important that you have asked me, and I would like to say that first of all, I would like to condemn the violence in Nagpur, whatever happened and whatever has been done by anyone. The culprit should be punished. They should face the law of the land, and they should be given the harshest punishment. That said, I would like to say that it's a very sweeping generalization statement that has been used by you targeting a particular community, and that is the issue. That basically is the issue, that a particular community that you are talking about is being targeted in all the ways by a section of the media, by a section of the government, by a section of the majoritarian class in the country, and by a section of an ideology, rather not only by a section of the ideology, but a particular ideology that claims itself to be the supreme ideology, that claims itself to be the most powerful ideology, and that claims itself to be ruling the country. Now, the thing is that the Muslims, if you talk about the country, the community that you are not taking the name, I would take the name. The Muslims believe in the law of the land. The Muslims are as much a citizen of the country as any person of any other religious group is. The Muslims love this country, and they are here by choice. We are the Indian citizens, and we are proud of that. We believe in the law of the land. We believe in the constitution. Anything that goes against the law, you cannot simply generalize that the community goes on the road. There are nearly 25 crore of Muslims staying in India. I go by your rule that every time anything that happens in the country, the Muslims come on the road and do these and those things, it can't be handled. That's not practical. The Muslims believe in the law. There are a chunk of people who get invoked, who get provocated by the provocation that is being done, by the triggering that is deliberately being done. That is the root cause of the issue that we need to discuss about, that we need to talk about. Why are the people who belong to a certain ideology, who have their people in the government, who the ideology is the government of the day, why do I would name them? There has been protests going on in Maharashtra since like 1 month by VHP, by Bajrang Dal, by RSS people, by members belonging to BJP and all other right-wing outfits protesting against Mughal emperors, protesting against Aurangzeb. There have been effigies being burnt by people of Mughal emperors of Aurangzeb. You would never see any reaction by the Muslim community in the whole, or by particular Muslim or any specific Muslim organization against the effigies being burnt, against protests being taken out, against protests asking for digging the grave of Aurangzeb. Let me complete. Give me 30 seconds. Rahul, what happened here? We need to focus on that. What led to the provocation? What was the triggering point? The protests happened in Nagpur. Nagpur basically is a very peaceful city, and the Muslims and Hindus live in communal harmony there. I have been to Nagpur. It's a very beautiful city. The people are very good, very beautiful people of both the communities in Nagpur.
Ji.
There was a protest by VHP and Bajrang Dal. They burned the effigy of Aurangzeb. Now the question here, the cloth that was being used, that cloth was, they say that it was not a religious. If you check the video, you will see that the cloth has written Arabic religious text written on the cloth. That was burnt in the name of Aurangzeb's effigy. That led to a rumor around the Muslim dominant areas that the religious texts were burned, and that led to the provocation, and that triggered this issue. And to put a to put a logical reason to this, the first FIR filed by the Nagpur police was against the VHP members, that they hurt the religious sentiments of a particular community. And the irony, I would say that's ridiculous, that yesterday 8 members of VHP surrendered, and the police didn't took their police custody. They didn't ask for their remand. They were given bail right away for 3,000 rupees.
Okay.
And they all
Can I
were
ask you?
scot free. Now, why didn't the police took their custody, investigated them, asked them why did they led to the triggering, why they led to provocation?
Okay, so
that was
let
the
me.
second point.
Okay, you made a point. You made an elaborate point. You say first of all that a particular community is always being unfairly represented in the media. That one particular community doesn't take the law into their hands, and it is an unfair generalization to be making. Let me open this up. Let's engage this. He's aggrieved by the characterization. Before I bring in the BJP national spokesperson, let me bring in Dr. Ranganathan. Dr. Ranganathan, do you believe that one particular community is being scapegoated here, unfairly represented? Are there too many sweeping generalizations that are being made?
Rahul, and good evening to my fellow panelists. First of all, I commend Talaji for having a very level-headed, reasonable interjection. And for this very important debate. There are 2 issues that have cropped up. Let me deal one by one with them. And in the spirit of bonhomie, I hope I will not be interrupted. Whatever I say is obviously my view. You may disagree with it. So on the first issue that Talaji brought up, why provoke Muslims into rioting, burning vehicles, pelting stones, attacking cops? And here too, as he says, Hindus are being blamed for starting it all by burning an effigy of Aurangzeb and allegedly burning a cloth with an embroidered verse. Well, tell me something. Should Hindus riot every time you burn Manusmriti or Ramcharitmanas? Stop blaming Hindus by saying they provoke Muslims. I mean, think about this calmly, right? The essence of Azan, which is, quote, there is no God but Allah and no one has the right to be worshipped but Allah, 4062. Unquote. Amplified through the loudspeaker 5 times a day, whole year round, near a temple, is not provocative. But celebrating Ram Navami or singing Bhajman Ram Charan Sukhdai one day in a year near a mosque or burning Aurangzeb's effigy is. Besides, provocation is subjective. Only violent people are provoked into violence. And this is the same justification given every time they attack Hindus. This action, reaction, provocation, reaction theory. But then, why don't they apply this same theory to Godhra riots and justify them as a reaction to the train burning? There, they don't bring this action, reaction theory, do they? But it is not about them. It is about us, Rahul. After all, who allows thousands to attend funerals of terrorists, Indian and foreign? Who withdraws cases against rioters like in Hubli you mentioned? Who gives bail to Coimbatore bombers despite the Supreme Court refusing to do so? Who blames Nupur for burning the country instead of blaming those who actually burned the country? Rahul, as we speak, Fahim Khan, the mastermind of the Nagpur riots, has been arrested. And the chilling details of him inciting the riots leave very little to imagination. But while it may come as news to many, it's not to me. You know why? Because in being relieved at him being arrested, we are yet again missing the goods for the trees. After all, did Fahim incite riots in Kanpur over Nupur merely quoting the hadiths? Was it Fahim who beheaded Kanhaiya Lal? Was it Fahim who led a bloodthirsty mob that killed Ankit in Delhi? Was it his roof that stopped acid bottles and stones and rocks? Was it Fahim who planned to assassinate Vishnu Jain during Sambhal survey? Was it Fahim who attacked hundreds of Ram Navami processions, Durga Puja processions, Hanuman Jayanti yatras, even Garba celebrations with impunity? Was it Fahim, Rahul, who removed Bhagwa flags from temple in Muda Bidri and replaced them with Islamic flags? Was it him who replaced the Ashoka Chakra and the Indian flag with Islamic Kalma in Mehboob Nagar? Was it Fahim who stood for elections from Meerut, offering 51 crores to anyone who beheaded Charlie Hebdo journalists? Was it Fahim who screamed Ralif, Galif, Salif from mosques? Was it Fahim who attended the funeral of Burhan Wani of Yaqub Memon, who wailed as he marched in the memory of terrorist Nasrallah? Rahul, let us accept it. There is a parallel world that is inhabited by millions of Fahim Khans, a world where they are not bound by rules, morality, ethics, propriety by which they want the rest of us to be bound by. Because their morality, ethics, conduct is not dictated by man but by God. Let us be under no situation the tractable. It hasn't changed for 1,000 years. Why on earth would it change in 10? Yaqub passed on the baton to Afzal, who passed it on to Burhan, who passed it on to Tahir, who passed it on to Fahim. And unknown to us, Fahim has already passed it on to someone. Aurangzeb would remain a hero for them simply because he fulfilled the directives that every faithful is required to fulfill when it comes to non-believers and their culture and way of life. That is the truth. If you want to brand me Islamophobic and a bigot, please go ahead.
Tala Rashidi ji, just give me 30 seconds. Let me open this up. Let me first get everyone's reaction. I'll come for seconds. This is a sensitive issue once again, viewers. We have to be very careful about what is being said, how is it being said. So Tariq Khan, I want to bring you in. You're the spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party, one of India's leading parties with, I think, now in Parliament, the third largest number of MPs, if I'm not mistaken. So you are a big stakeholder in our democracy, and I have to ask you, maybe even the fourth largest, but I might have got it wrong by one or two, but what I'm saying is that you're one of the top parties. So let me just ask you, how long will one community hide behind this action-reaction theory? Because if you do, then you create a very slippery slope. Others will also justify. And I have to say that for a very long time, Mr. Narendra Modi, the Indian Prime Minister, when he was Chief Minister, was constantly attacked for suggesting that what happened in Gujarat, the riots, were because of a reaction. Now you seem to be echoing him. ये DNA बदल कैसे गया? ये मुझे आप समझाइए. I'm not understanding this, Tahir Khan Sahab. How is it that what you attacked today or many years ago, Mr. Modi for saying, today you are adopting that to justify this? What has changed?
That means you support any type of action for reaction.
Any
type of reaction.
You support clarify something. Rahul, I want to clarify something before my friend comes.
Not in between, please. Please, not in between. Not in between. This is not fair. This is not fair. Why you call us?
Yes,
हमें क्यों बुलाते हैं?
Yes, sir. I have said.
Let me leave. I'm leaving. I don't want to be part of this type of debate. Anybody came inside and said, I'm leaving.
No, you continue.
Don't do this. I'm not doing.
Continue.
Then shall not be the way. Any big name will come in between and say, I have to say something, and you will allow that.
I have not allowed them. I'm allowing you.
I'm leaving your show. I'm leaving your show.
But why I'm allowing you? Ajab hai bhai. I can't understand.
Rahul, I'm very sorry.
I mean, was my question?
No,
1 minute, please. This is no. You see, 1 second. I understand all of that, but I have a responsibility to give everyone in equal time, and I could have come back to you, and I did say please, and I did say that please pipe down, and you did. But the point is that I think he just wanted to leave the show to make a statement.
In every show.
Maybe he does. I don't know.
He does it in every show.
I don't understand in judgment.
Can I come in now?
No, 1 second.
Please,
1 second. 1 second. Yes,
Anand
1 second.
has
1
got
second.
his 230 seconds. Talaji has got his 230 seconds.
No.
Allow me, please.
Wait.
Go ahead.
I didn't want to interrupt anyone. God knows that. Darwin knows.
No, God doesn't know
that. I just wanted to say respectfully, that's only 5 seconds, that was fake news. What Modi actually said then was that कई लोग कह रहे हैं एक्शन रिएक्शन है, मैं चाहता हूं ये एक्शन रिएक्शन की प्रतिक्रिया ना हो.
Yeah, but we all know that. My point is that was whether it was fake, whether it was not, that was the logic,
Rahul,
right?
Please.
And the logic was applied again, and
Rahul,
it is now being adopted. So I don't know what has changed.
Rahul ji, can I come in, please?
No, I have to ask you because Mr. Tala is saying very clearly that certain groups of people are provoking deliberately Muslims to make them feel insecure in their own land, to ghettoize them, and to draw a reaction like this so then they can label them. How do you respond to this?
Well, Rahul, you are a very fair and an extremely respected journalist who's watched by the country, and my two learned friends have got their 233 seconds each, and I hope that I get my 122 seconds. Let's be very honest, Rahul, that for the first time, let's call a spade a spade. It was not a Hindu-Muslim riot, it was an anti-Hindu riot in Nagpur. We should stop calling anti-Hindu riots as Hindu-Muslim riots. If provocation is the alibi that is being used by my friends, let us take the argument forward. What was the provocation when India won the Champions Trophy in Mahu, which allowed individuals or provoked individuals to pelt stones? That is point number one. What was the provocation in Jammu and Kashmir? Azadi was the alibi used to pelt stones on the security forces. What was the provocation and alibi used again in Jharkhand, where individuals celebrating Holi in Girid in Jharkhand were pelted stones? What was the provocation in Delhi, where a IB officer was killed and lynched? Again, a provocation was it was a Hindu Muslim. There is nothing like a Hindu Muslim in Nagpur. It was a targeted anti-Hindu riots because the rioters have been given shielded by all these individuals. Have you seen any one politician calling it as a rioters should be punished, booked? No, not a single politician. Now let me take the argument forward that my friend says that it's the Bharatiya Janata Party because of which riots have taken place. The BJP was formed in 1980s. Who was responsible for 1964 anti-Hindu Calcutta riots? Who was responsible for 1967 Hatia riots? If that is the case, let's go back. Jansangh was formed in 1951. Who was responsible for 1925 anti-Hindu Delhi, Nagpur, Lahore riots? Who was responsible for 1927 Nagpur riots? Who was responsible for anti-Hindu 1929 riots? Let's go back to pre-independence before the RSS was formed in the 1920s. Who was responsible for anti-Hindu 1851, 1857, 1874 riots in Mumbai? Who was responsible for 1917 anti-Hindu riots in Bihar? There is a chronology, Rahul, that always the perpetrators have used Hindu-Muslim narrative as a shield to attack the Hindus, and in 10 seconds. Which sane man in the Muslim community will say that Aurangzeb is their ideal, which provokes them so much that they will pelt stones, have swords? Just another 10 seconds and I will end my point. If Chhawa was the provocation, Rahul, then I believe that every Indian should see the movie Chhawa. And if individuals get provoked so much by Chhawa, then these members who belong to this community are eulogizing an anti-Hindu rioter and a murderer like Aurangzeb, not eulogizing APJ Abdul Kalam. And this is exactly the problem of Ganga Jamna Tehzeeb, which we keep speaking about in this country. I will demonstrate pseudo-secularism on your panel in 10 seconds. I call out the three names of rioters. Sheikh Abid Sheikh is a rioter. Faizan Samin Sheikh is a rioter. Adnan Samin Sheikh is a rioter as per FIR. Can the members here, prima facie, they are rioters. Prima facie, they are rioters. Can the members here who believe in secularism call them as rioters?
Okay, no, one second. Tariq Khan Saab is back, and I began by asking him a question. How long can we hide behind action-reaction?
Listen, first of all, we shouldn't support any type of action or reaction. And if you're supporting, I really condemn those type of things. Okay, what is written in FIR, I'm just reading out there. Bajrang Dal Joint Secretary Rahul had sought permission for protests to demanding to remove the tomb of Aurangzeb. The police said that organizers were given strict action, instruct to not burn any effigy. But the VHP and Bajrang Dal worker disobeyed the order. What police is saying? Bajrang Dal and VHP worker disobeyed the order, resulting in the registration of FIR against them. They have written, police have written in the FIR, which is registered against the Bajrang Dal and VHP worker. Now, a question again arises here. What are the sections being charged on VHP people and on the other side who have created violence, or they are rioters, whatever they are? Okay, what are the sections? Okay, section here is 289, which is easily bailable on 8%. And on the other side, there is 1200 peoples, and the sections are like that they are anti-national and a lot of other sections. Now, I'm not able to understand if there is two writers, one is from the side of Bajrang Dal and one is from the other side, why the sections are so different? Why the BNS, the IPC is not looking people equally? Now, why there was why the law is blind? Because they cannot see people differently. But here I'm seeing it's being quite evident that police and the administration have seen two different type of community very differently. Why they have given bail? Because it's being mentioned in the FIR. They have been instructed now not to burn anything. They have started by their own and it has been provocated by the people of Bajrang Dal. That's why all these riots has happened. I am not saying this. This has been said by that police of Nagpur.
Allow me.
Okay, well, 1 second.
No,
Now,
please.
1 second, just 1 minute. I just want to make one intervention.
Allow me after.
1
rebuttal
second.
after
Yes,
that.
yes, please, I will, definitely. But Tariq Sahab, मुझे आप एक चीज बताइए, fine, the FIR says that they burned the effigy which they should not have of Aurangzeb. But who is Aurangzeb? Is Aurangzeb some hero?
No, never, never.
So let me
Aurangzeb
finish.
is
So,
not
so
a
let me
hero.
finish. Let me finish.
Aurangzeb is not a hero.
So, okay. So, fine. Aurangzeb is not a hero. But you say that provoked you.
I'm
That
also a
provoked you.
Muslim. I'm also a Muslim. My hero is Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him,
Okay.
not Aurangzeb. On
So-
behalf of all the Muslims, I'm very confidently saying this, that all the Muslims will believe in my words, what I'm saying.
So can I
Any
ask you,
Aurangzeb, any Mughal is not our
If
hero.
Aurangzeb
And they
is not a
cannot be.
hero, is not a hero, then should Akbaruddin Owaisi have gone to his mazhar and paid obeisance to him?
Listen. We don't support these type of things that they are our hero and they should be our hero. But provided that we shouldn't do, if government want to remove that graveyard, they can. If government want.
Okay,
They have
but
government
Mr.
at the
Mr.
state level,
Mr.
at the
Khan,
center
allow me.
level.
Fine,
Do
but
whatever
Mr.
you
Khan,
I need my 10
respond to
seconds.
me this question. Okay,
No,
fine.
Tariq
All
Khan
this
is going to
happened.
10
stop
seconds.
you.
1 second. All this happened. Why do you have to come out onto the streets? Why did you have to come out in Sambhal? Why do
I'm
you have to
saying
come
that.
out? Why don't you just
What
go to the
happened over
police
there?
station? 1
What
minute.
happened
And if you
over
don't
there?
have faith in the police, go to the DM, go to the court.
I'm saying this, you kill thousands of these type of Aurangzeb, no Muslim will come
Okay,
out.
let me tell you, viewers,
But
1 second.
when verses
I
of
want to
Quran,
No, no,
when
allow me.
verses
No,
of
you need to
Quran
give me
being
the
Yes,
burned,
yes, yes,
when
I will.
verses
Yes.
of Quran, 5 seconds, let me complete.
Yeah,
One
yeah.
more word. When verses of Quran being burned, Muslim will come out and they'll
No
proceed,
verses, no
they'll
verses.
say
1
that
second.
this is not right. This is the rumor being spread.
No, what
and
are you
if
saying?
you have-
1 second,
you
1
have
second. What are you saying? I
control
have to
over-
understand what you're saying. Tariq Khan, what are you saying? Are you saying that if verses allegedly are burnt, then Muslims will come out? That's what you're saying?
No.
condoning it.
They'll not come
please.
they'll not come out their house for Aurangzeb. But if you talk about Quran, if you
There
talk about Prophet Muhammad, they'll say
Okay.
if you say
So
anything
stop,
wrong
stop.
about them.
So 1 second,
they'll
I
say
understand.
that this is wrong.
So
and
you're
this is
saying
their
it's okay.
fundamental right.
It's okay to come out if the verses are burnt. Then it's okay to come out. Now, viewers, just think about this.
It's
Look,
okay to come out. It's okay to come out to protest.
to protest.
Protest
But that
against
doesn't happen.
Aurangzeb.
That didn't happen in that didn't happen in
For
Hubli.
you-
It
for
turned
you-
violent.
for you-
And it
for
turned
you, it's-
violent against
it's
the police.
okay
There was
people
nobody
come
else there
out
in
on the
Hubli, viewers,
street
and those pictures I'm
protest
showing
to
you.
remove the tomb of Aurangzeb.
It happened in Burhanpur. It happened, and the
Rahul.
police were there. There was nobody else.
Rahul.
1 minute.
Rahul.
By this logic, viewers, by this logic, one top politician in this country, a scion of a very big party, even
Yes.
bigger
Yes.
than Samajwadi
DMK.
Party, viewers. I'm not taking names. He abused Sanatan Dharam. And he compared it to a disease.
Dengue malaria.
And even the courts came out and said what he did was wrong. Should the whole Hindu community have come out, laid siege to his place,
Rahul.
thrown stones? No, viewers, you don't. You
Rahul.
go to the courts, you move courts. That's what you do. If you're
Rahul.
law-abiding, no provocation is worth it. Yes, Mr.
Rahul,
Bhandari.
Hindus are law-abiding citizens. When the likes of the India Alliance called Sanatan dengue malaria AIDS, did you see Hindus pelting stones? When you saw the likes of the India Alliance calling Mahakumbh as Vidyu Kumbh, did you see Hindus pelting stones? When Hindus were called Talibanis and the Atangwadis and Taliban, did you see Hindus pelting stones? When Hindus were said that their mandirs are institutions where ladkiyon ke saath chhedchhad hoti hai, did you see Hindus pelting stones? No. He is a man of Samajwadi Party who's justifying stone pelting. Let me take the argument forward on your panel. If you say that I cannot, let's say an argument that you make a rule that I cannot chant Jai Shri Ram. I chant Jai Shri Ram. Will this give permission to Taib
why do you have to
Khan here
chant
to
Jai
spell
Shri
stones
Ram
on
in
me?
front of a mosque?
Will it give
Why do you have
permission
to,
to
when you take
Taib
a
Khan to
holy
have a
position or
sword
the Tera position,
and attack
why do you
individuals
have
on
to
panel?
chant
No. He's
Communal-
justified the stone pelters here.
Communal
I
Naraz
condemn
in front
him.
of
This
a
is
mosque?
exactly
Why
how
do
an
you have
urban
to close the
Naxali
gates of
behaves.
the
Okay,
mosque?
one
Why
second.
do you have to throw?
And also,
Wait, wait,
what
let
this
me listen
is
to-
the Bajrang Dal guys did
Okay.
not pelt stones, did not throw talwars at the policemen.
Okay.
These guys did it.
What
The likes
happened
of
in
Pakistan.
Calm down,
What happened
everybody.
in Mahu?
I can't be calm every time they abuse the Hindus and he brings them to others.
Let's listen to Tala Rashid.
Every
Yes.
Muslim was happy when India won the
But,
cup.
One
Every
second.
Muslim was happy. when India won the cup. No one was protesting against India's win. Stop vilifying the Muslims. Stop vilifying the victims.
Okay.
Stop
Face the
equating
reality.
writers to them.
Quickly box the
Stop
weapons.
equating writers to them. Stop the appeasement politics.
Everyone silent.
What happened in
Okay,
Nagpur?
please,
Trying to-
Mr. Bhandari, please, one second. Please, gentlemen, let's keep calm. Things are said when we get very upset, then they get blown up, then we make a mistake, then consequences follow. So let's first be calm. There's shouting, etc. won't get us anywhere. We can say the same
Rahul,
things.
allow me to
Yes,
say
yes,
something.
of course I will. Yes, Mr. Rashid, I just want to ask you a particular question tonight. Nupur Sharma allegedly made a statement that upset a large number of Muslims. They came out onto the streets and they said, Sartan se juda. Sartan se juda. You know the slogans that were chanted. Even MIM leaders chanted them or called for her hanging. 2 people lost their heads. You'll remember this, sir. On the other side, a top politician, as I said, abused Sanatan Dharma and all that goes with it. No one came out. No heads rolled. In fact, viewers, no action was also
Allow me
taken.
to respond.
So what does this tell you? Yes, please respond.
Sir, if the law would have taken its course, nothing would have happened. What happened to Nupur Sharma? Cases were filed against her. Many cases were filed against her, but she is still roaming free. That led to provocation. That what happened?
One second.
No, I take offense.
Please, no,
Let me
everyone will
complete
take
my
offense. Just calm down.
Let
him finish.
Let me finish.
Yes, one second.
Whatever anyone who in any form,
Yes.
tries to advocate violence is highly condemnable.
One second, Mr.
The law
Tala,
should
this is
take
very
action
problematic,
against him.
viewers.
Let me
I'll tell you
complete
one thing,
Rahul,
viewers.
Rahul, I've been
In
listening
Kashmir-
to you all very patiently. At
in
least
Kashmir,
let me complete my
viewers-
sentence.
in
At least
Kashmir-
let me complete my sentence.
Yeah.
Rahul, this is
Finish
not
your
fair.
sentence.
This is not fair.
Finish your
If you
sentence.
don't want me to complete,
Finish your sentence,
allow
sir,
me,
except
then
that I
you
don't want
blow
people
out
to
my
get...
statement. Okay.
I don't
Yes,
want people to get misled. Please, yes, finish your sentence.
Anything, violence in any form is condemnable. But what happens, what leads to such situation, we need to understand that. Nupur Sharma is still roaming free.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
the Muslim majority
So you're
never
saying if
supported.
law doesn't take its course, then people have the right to take the law into their own hands. Okay, so 1 minute, wait.
No one has right to take the law in its
Okay,
their
then
hands.
what are you
There
saying?
are people fanatic on
So
both the
people
sides.
get
There are people
frustrated.
fanatic in
So
both the
people
sides.
get frustrated.
They will.
So people get frustrated and things can happen. Okay, so one
Such
second.
things
Now
can
viewers.
happen. That is what I'm trying to tell
That's
you.
what he's
That
saying,
we should-
viewers.
we
He's
should
admitting
not
that's what
allow
he's saying. Now
people
one
to
second,
take
just
law
one
into
second.
their
Now think
hands.
about this.
We should not allow them.
How many
Anything that
Hindus,
leads to
viewers,
violence
how
is
many
highly-
Hindus got justice and it's been 40 years in Kashmir? Zero.
If you
Have
talk about
Hindus come
Kashmir,
out? No,
see,
have Hindus
Aurangzeb,
come out
they are
and
talking
taken
about
the law
Aurangzeb,
into their
they
own hands because they got frustrated? Viewers, this mentality is the one that we need to address. This actually proves the debate and the central hypothesis. Yes, very quickly, Dr. Ranganathan, I need to move on after this. Yes.
No, as I said, Tariq bhai, ab bura baat maniega, aap mere bade bhai hain. When he was saying the people who burned the effigy of Aurangzeb, who died 300 years ago, should be arrested. This is last week, Samajwadi Party leaders, 60 of them burning the effigy of Yogi Adityanath. Should they be arrested? Tariq bhai, हाँ या ना में जवाब दीजिए.
Can't hear you, sir. You have put yourself on silent.
Do you have any proof of that? What you are saying?
Sir,
Any
तस्वीर
proof?
तो दिख रही है.
अरे भाई तस्वीर दिखा रहा हूँ आपको.
Proof आ गया.
Do you have any proof?
Okay. Okay, I'll leave it at this. Viewers, I think we've said enough. I think we've got the gist. We've said
I have
enough.
to make a point.
Unfortunately,
I have to make a point.
yes, make your point, sir.
you
30
are
seconds.
quite
I need
allow
to
me
move
a
on.
button also.
Okay, yes, let him make his point. Yes.
Give
Even I have a
me,
point of
give me
15
20 seconds, not more
Allow
than
me a
that.
rebuttal
Please
after
don't
Please,
that.
interrupt.
gentlemen, one at a time.
Please don't
Yes.
interrupt. आपने अभी कहा कि लोगों को अपने हाथ में कानून नहीं लेना चाहिए, सड़क पे नहीं आना चाहिए. ठीक है, नितेश राणे ने क्या बोला एग्जैक्टली रिपीट कर रहा हूं. आप क्या इंतजार कर रहे हो? जो आपने बाबरी मस्जिद में किया था वही यहां जाकर करो. आपने किसी से पूछा नहीं था. इसको आप क्या कहेंगे? आप कंडेम करेंगे? एंकर प्लीज कंडेम इट इन 5 seconds.
I have.
Please.
In fact, when he made this statement,
Please.
I tweeted.
Now,
I
allow me.
tweeted a
No,
condemnation.
please condemn
number
it.
two.
I'm saying that please say this is wrong.
Today, the Samajwadi Party is part of an alliance, the India Alliance, in which one of the member of the alliance says that we are delighted we broke the Babri Masjid. That is the UBT Shiv Sena.
Let me take his
That's
argument
me-
forward.
that's me
Rahul,
supporting
let me take his
Nikesh
argument forward. किसी ने उसके statement के बाद पत्थर उठाया? Did anybody had swords in their hand?
Okay.
Did anybody
आपने
attack the police?
मंत्री को हटाया,
There is a difference.
आप उसका
They
support
have
कर रहे हैं,
stopped
आपने
enough,
मंत्री को
enough.
हटाया,
Viewers,
viewers,
No, you can't
viewers,
say, you have
viewers,
to call a spade.
viewers.
Just because somebody is speaking English does not
Let
mean
me
that.
tell you, the best antidote to all of this is self-regulation. Let me tell you, viewers, I think a large number of our Muslim brothers and sisters who are listening must come out and condemn hotheads, first on their side of the fence. Hindus do that all the time, viewers, on their side of the fence. This needs to happen. Otherwise, we are going to slip into a very terrible morass, viewers, and there's no coming out of it. Anyhow, I want to move on because there's another important story, viewers. Another story that will evoke public responses. The Congress state government in Karnataka cries poverty. Its leaders bemoan the financial infirmities which have made it very difficult to pay for welfare schemes promised to the people to win their electoral support. The rickety economic situation has also become a ground for adding to the tax burden of citizens. You know this. Periodically, surcharges, taxes, etc. are announced by the Karnataka government, the Congress Karnataka government. Now a surcharge of electricity has kicked in. Additional 36 paisa per unit from April 1st for consumers. It's not an April Fool joke, it's a reality. The reason to recover government share of pension and gratuity contributions. So they can't pay the pension and gratuity, so they're recovering it now by basically hiking electricity tariff. The outcome is that the bid to recover over rupees 2,800 crores of pending government arrears. The fallout will be that PNG contributions will be revised for 2026-27 and 2027-28. Consumers will have to pay 35 paisa and 34 paisa respectively. What changes for you? Earlier, it was 2,207.75 paisa a month a bill. Now it will be 2,305.85 a month. Consumer using 250 units with 5 kilowatt fixed charge. So it's an increase. Over the last few months, since the Congress won the elections in 2023, there have been a series of tariff hikes. Power hike, 2.89 per unit, above 200 units a month since 1st of July 2023. Petrol hike by 3.92%, almost 4%. Diesel hike by 4% since June 15, 2024. Last year, that is. Stamp duty increase of 200 to 500% for all non-registrable documents since February 2024. Milk has also seen a rise in costs and price. KSRTC bus fares are up by 15% since 5th Jan 2025 to subsidize the free tickets for women. But these financial infirmities haven't stopped the ruling party from showering perks upon legislators, upon some of themselves. Today it turned out that a push has been made to hike legislator salaries. There's no money for 5 guarantee schemes. Karnataka Kalyan Board for to repair pothole-ridden roads, but there's a splurge on office, house makeover and salary hikes, new SUVs for ministers, recliners if you please in the Vidhan Saudha, burden on Janta, milk and fuel prices have been hiked, increased power tariffs, state bus fares increased, all of this. And viewers, the breakdown will be available on your screens. You can see each one of these allowances, from medical allowance to travel allowance, all things have been hiked. Train and air ticket allowance. It's like a free-for-all. Even Chief Minister guest allowance has been hiked. Now, viewers, what is going on? These are the wages of overcommitting, of saying that yes, we are promising you guarantees but not being able to back up. So I want to open this up. Let's ask some fundamental questions. Isn't there, Mr. Abbas, an iniquity here?
I'll tell you, Rahul Sahab, what the duplicity and hypocrisy is, after hearing which I'm sure the national spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Mr. Pradeep Bhandari, on a moral note, will resign from this debate. Respected sir, are you even aware that the recommendation of the salary hike, which came across including several MLAs, was also led by your BJP Karnataka MLA Arvind Ballad? Do you know that, sir? And are you even aware that where was the protest, sir, on this? Did your Karnataka chief protest? No. As a matter of fact, let me quickly take you back to the Karnataka state ministers and legislators pension allowances salary hike bill of 2022. Without even discussion, your chief minister, Mr. Baswaraj Bommai, without discussion, passed the bill. आप करें तो प्यार, कांग्रेस करे तो वार, ये कैसा अत्याचार? What level of hypocrisy is this? Beat Siddaramaia's time now, beat H.D. Kumaraswamy, beat Baswaraj Bommai. There have been challenges here in the Karnataka government, but you only want to point one finger. Now let me tell you, sir, the recent reports, what I'd like to bring to your notice, the Karnataka state GDP has grown by 7.4%. Agriculture has seen a growth of 4%. The state GDP has outpaced the national growth by 6.2%. But why will BJP always target us? Why? Because they cannot form a government here. It is Congress party with 135 MLAs. That is the reason why the Bharatiya Janata Party wants to attack. Why? Because Karnataka state is a very difficult state for you to conquer, sir, because we reject your Hindu-Muslim politics, and that is the truth.
Okay, so could you respond, Mr. Bhandari, to what he claims is hypocrisy, bald-faced hypocrisy, he says?
Well, first of all,
It was BJP MLA Rahul
let him
Sahab.
respond.
my dear friend, my dear passionate friend Syed Abbas, even if we do not criticize you, Rahul Gandhi is enough for us to ensure that we win Karnataka, so do not panic, point number one. I just want to lay certain the facts on ground. Electricity prices have been increased in Karnataka. Milk prices have been increased by rupees 3 a litre. Petrol and diesel prices have been increased by rupees 3 a litre. Electricity rates have gone by 2.4 rupees a litre. 1 second. Allow me. Let me just put. He was saying a rosy picture is of Karnataka. Rahul, I am telling you, if you buy a milk packet here, it will cost you 3 rupees extra. You should also worry about your pocket when you go to Karnataka. If you are a common man, if you are a rich man, then you do not need to worry. Vehicle registration fee has gone up by 3%. Lifetime tax imposed on EV has happened. So everybody in Karnataka is suffering and the public debt is at record level. That is the state of Karnataka. Now what is he busy on? Massage chairs, recliner sofas, SUV for ministers and mandated salary hike. Now factually speaking, what he was speaking about in 2022 did not happen. This is why the bill when he's got in 2025, the report says the mandated salary hikes could not happen in 2022 and the Congress government has proposed this. This is the fact. So nothing happened in 2022. I am asking you a basic question. They do not have money for development funds. This is not what I am saying, their MLAs have seen. DK Shiv Kumar has said that even if God comes to Karnataka, Bengaluru, it cannot ensure that roads of Bengaluru are fine. This is not what I am saying. Their deputy chief minister is saying. So at this moment, the Congress Karnataka government has even admitted corruption. One of their MLAs, Mr. Siddaramaiah, has said that yes, our departments are corrupt. So you have a government which is corrupt. We have a government which is ensuring inflation in Karnataka, and you have a government which is busy in recliner sofas, and you are braving the Bharatiya Janata Party in opposition. What logic is this?
1 second, Mr. Gowda. 1 second, Abbasa. Mr. Gowda, let me bring him in. Isn't it a fact that one of your leaders, Mr. Sitaraman, has come out and said exactly this? That there are corrupt departments? Why should there be corruption? Corruption means leakage. Leakage means that people who are paying taxes are being cheated.
Rahul, this is the baseless allegations made our BJP friend is making, and in spite of center is not supporting the state, our state government, we are performing better, and they should be happy. We are paying salaries to. This is the long-standing demand by all the legislators. We are paying salaries not only for Congress MLAs. We are paying salaries for BJP, JDS, everybody. It is a long-standing, demand by all the MLAs, and that is why we are trying to, give this facility to all the MLAs.
1 second.
Hoping that they should work, they should live on salary.
1 second, Deccan Herald.
They should not do any other corruptions.
I have this on the Deccan Herald.
And,
1 second.
And our BJP friend was
I asked you a simple question. So if there's corruption, if there is corruption, then there is no right for anybody to be asking the paying public to pay more, because that money is not clearly going to go for public welfare. It's going to go into someone's pocket. And viewers, let me tell you. Let me read out to you. Responding to questions by Congress MLC Yathindra Siddaramaiah and JDS member T.A. Shravana, the minister said, I will not deny corruption allegations, but I want to make it clear that not all officers are corrupt. What is going on? You come out and you say, Dr. Ranganathan, you see what corruption does is that it takes from one and doesn't give back to another. If you raise money, for example, through taxes, you expect to spend back on the people who you raise those taxes from, right? But here it goes into someone's pocket and disappears from the state. Now, if you are doing that, if you are corrupt and you know you're corrupt or you acknowledge corruption, then why are you double punishing the public?
No, absolutely right, Rahul. But, on a lighter note, I'm missing Arvind Kejriwal ji and his government at Delhi already. Because, while you have the Karnataka government splashing out money on massager recliners, Arvind Kejriwal government had to send his ministers to jail to get massage done, So it's a relief. No, but, I normally get 2 minutes out of your, benevolence. I won't take more than 10 seconds, and I request you to take the rest of the minute to chase relentlessly my good friend Pradeep. Because BJP has 66 MLAs. It's a straight question to Pradeep. When he says, how dare the government of Karnataka hike the salary by 100% of the MLAs, is he going to say on public, on record, that the BJP 66 MLAs will refuse the 100% hike? Say it, Pradeep.
Yes. Yes.
They did not even protest, Rahul Sahab. They did not even protest. The BJP MLAs. The BJP MLAs in Karnataka
do not protest. इससे होगा क्या? Majority आपकी house में आप तो pass करोगे भ्रष्टाचारी. I'm saying that we objected. I'm saying you objected, my dear friend. But how will that matter, Sayyid Abbas? You have the majority. You have 130 people. You will pass it.
Who asked for a hike?
You will pass it.
On an official statement.
Now you say that you will take back the bill. No, I will flip this. No, I will flip this. Take back the bill.
Okay.
Really take back the bill? Please take back the bill. You have absolute majority. Take back the bill.
No, one second, viewers. Just a minute. Look, yes.
Please,
the BJP, even if the bill is passed because the Congress has the majority, shouldn't take the hike. They should say the hike that we're giving to charity. Collect it, give it, put it in a hundi and give it.
I will pass on your suggestion to the Karnataka
You please
president.
do. But I want to make one small point, viewers. How can you even want a hike? Hikes are, at least in the public sector, viewers, in the private sector, to be very honest, they're linked to performance. They're linked to performance. Here you are coming out and saying, you see, I will not deny corruption allegations, but I want to make it clear that not all officers are corrupt. Not all of them are corrupt. Some are corrupt. Can you believe it, viewers? As if there's some favor is being done. That no, only 20% of them are corrupt. The rest, 80% are very nice, God-fearing characters. I mean, this is ridiculous, viewers. This is your ability to govern?
Oh my God.
Even 1%, even 1 rupee of public money being misappropriated is a gross crime on the people of the state, who you are punishing by asking to pay more. Can you imagine this, viewers? And here you have, and listen, viewers, I am not scared anymore because I got a reprieve from the courts.
Yes.
They can't constantly be going after me.
Rahul, otherwise
I
Karnataka
have to
government
say,
was hounding you.
I don't know about that.
Abbas could not do anything.
I hope
and
it
he's
was
laughing on this.
But the point
Shame
is,
on this man.
The point is, viewers, you can send your officers to arrest. You can send your officers to Delhi as you have done earlier, chasing me around the capital, etc. You can do it. No problems. I'm not running away. But I'll tell you something. I'm not a YouTube influencer who goes underground. Okay? I am sitting here on this channel and I'm asking you a question. If you admit to corruption, who is quitting? Who is resigning? Which heads are going to roll? Who are these people?
They will be
will that money be brought back to the public exchequer?
Given to Gandhis.
No, one second. I want to ask a question, viewers, here. How can you justify corruption and say, no, not everyone is corrupt, only a few? Where does the buck stop? Fundamental question. Right now, unfortunately, viewers, it is stopping in your wallets. Wake up. I'll leave it at this.
Presented by Freed Ukrainian prisoners of war celebrated on Wednesday after Russia and Ukraine each agreed to release 175 captured troops. Moscow said it freed an additional 22 wounded Ukrainians as a goodwill gesture, following a phone call between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. But just hours after that call, in which a deal was reached to pause attacks on energy infrastructure, both Russia and Ukraine accused each other of violating the new agreement. Moscow said Ukraine hit an oil depot in southern Russia, while Kyiv said Russia had struck hospitals and homes and knocked out power to some of its railways. This all came on the same day that Trump had a phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that Trump described as very good. Before their conversation, Zelensky said Moscow's continued attacks showed its words did not match its actions, and that Russia was not ready for peace. He also said that the United States should be in charge of monitoring any ceasefire.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
The hour-long call on Wednesday between Trump and Zelensky was their first conversation since an Oval Office meeting descended into a shouting match in late February.
Intelligence sharing in terms of defense for Ukraine will continue to be shared.
Later, White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said Zelensky asked Trump for additional air defense support, and that Trump said he would help locate the equipment in Europe. She also said Trump has moved beyond a previously negotiated U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal.
We've moved beyond just the economic minerals deal framework, and we're looking at a lasting ceasefire. Right now we're at a partial ceasefire, but again, the president is sending his highly skilled, intelligent, and experienced team to Saudi Arabia later this week to continue fighting for peace in this conflict.
Trump has long promised to end Europe's deadliest conflict since World War II, but his outreach to Putin has unnerved European allies, who fear it heralds a fundamental shift after 80 years in which defending Europe from Russian expansionism was the core mission of U.S. foreign policy. Freed Ukrainian prisoners of war celebrated on Wednesday after Russia and Ukraine each agreed to release 175 captured troops. Moscow said it freed an additional 22 wounded Ukrainians as a goodwill gesture, following a phone call between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin. But just hours after that call, in which a deal was reached to pause attacks on energy infrastructure, both Russia and Ukraine accused each other of violating the new agreement. Moscow said Ukraine hit an oil depot in southern Russia, while Kyiv said Russia had struck hospitals and homes and knocked out power to some of its railways. This all came on the same day that Trump had a phone call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky that Trump described as very good. Before their conversation, Zelensky said Moscow's continued attacks showed its words did not match its actions, and that Russia was not ready for peace. He also said that the United States should be in charge of monitoring any ceasefire.
You're in no position to dictate what we're going to feel.
The hour-long call on Wednesday between Trump and Zelensky was their first conversation since an Oval Office meeting descended into a shouting match in late February.
Intelligence sharing in terms of defense for Ukraine will continue to be shared.
Later, White House spokesperson Caroline Leavitt said Zelensky asked Trump for additional air defense support, and that Trump said he would help locate the equipment in Europe. She also said Trump has moved beyond a previously negotiated U.S.-Ukraine minerals deal.
We've moved beyond just the economic minerals deal framework, and we're looking.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post, and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. After more than 3 years of war, Russia and Ukraine have a limited ceasefire in place, but the attacks are still on. So is this deal just on paper? What exactly does it entail? We'll discuss all of that. Also, why the energy infrastructure in both countries is in focus. First, as key targets in the war, and now possibly the key to peace. So much so that the US wants to control Ukraine's power facilities. We'll explain why. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the ceasefire is over. The war is back, complete with an Israeli ground operation in the Gaza Strip. The Houthis are attacking American ships. We will bring you an update. In India, Grok is hurling abuses, and Elon Musk's company X has taken the government of India to court. In the US, Tesla cars and showrooms are under attack. The administration calls it domestic terrorism. In Turkey, why the arrest of the mayor of Istanbul has triggered nationwide protests. Why China has executed 4 Canadian nationals and how Ottawa has responded. How the Indian weight loss market is ballooning with the entry of new drugs. How Somalia's president came under a terrorist attack on his way to an airport. And it's World Happiness Day today. What does happiness mean to you? We will talk about it. The headlines first. In India, at least 30 Maoists killed in 2 separate encounters in the state of Chhattisgarh. 1 security personnel also lost their life in the gun battle. A large cache of weapons has been recovered from one of the encounter sites. Union Home Minister Amit Shah hails the operation, saying it's a big boost to a Naxal-free India. Iran calls US President Donald Trump's letter to its supreme leader a threat. In the letter, Trump